They gave me 10 million euros to kill him. Told from the traitor's point of view. This is the story. He says, I was sent to kill a man, but what he did to me changed everything. This is my confession. I don't expect forgiveness. I only hope someone, somewhere, hears the truth before it's too late. My name? Let's just say I used to be called Malik. I was born in Abobo, a tough corner of Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. Life was not soft. You grow up fast, when hunger is your bedtime story, and violence is your teacher. By the time I was 16, I knew how to fight, lie, and survive. By 20, I had already worked with 2 mercenary groups. But I never thought I'd end up being trained by the Americans, and used by the French. It all started on a dusty evening in Deloa. A man in a blue suit came to my cousin's bar. His accent was smooth. Too smooth. He spoke French, but not like us. He said he worked in global security solutions, a fancy way of saying he kills people for governments. He bought me beer. Then he handed me a black phone and said, Malik, we have a contract for you. It's not just a job. It's history. You want to be part of history, don't you? I laughed. Who's the target? He leaned in. Captain Ibrahim Traore. I stopped laughing. Is this a joke? Number the French are done with him. The Americans want him neutralized, quietly, quickly. I thought he was crazy. Traore wasn't just a soldier, he was a symbol. Young, fearless, loved by his people. He had kicked out French troops, told the UN to pack up, and took over the gold mines. The West hated him, but the people, they loved him like a lion. Still, I was hungry, and they weren't offering peanuts. 5 million euros up front, another 5 million euros after the job was done. We'll train you, he said, in America, in Djibouti, in Mali. When you return, you'll be a ghost. No one will see you coming. 2 weeks later, I was flown to Texas using a fake passport. Everything was legal on paper, but nothing about it was right. They called the base a counter-terror training facility. But we weren't training to stop terrorists. We were training to become them. For 7 months, we trained in urban infiltration, psychological warfare, assassination tactics, poisoning without detection, explosives, and advanced firearms. The Americans were cold but efficient. The French were worse. They laughed while showing us how to paralyze a man with 1 shot. After that, I was sent to Mali to blend in. I was told, make connections. Find loyal Burkinabe soldiers. Buy them. If they can't be bought, break them. A month later, I entered Burkina Faso using my second identity. A humanitarian worker from Côte d'Ivoire offering rural security training. I wore a clean shirt, spoke calmly, and smiled at everyone. Before long, I was near the Presidential Guard headquarters. They even let me visit some army bases for evaluation. I took pictures. I made notes. I marked weak points. Then I saw him. The first time I saw Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore. He walked without guards. He greeted the soldiers by name. He stopped to speak to a mechanic fixing a truck. He even played football with 2 boys at the edge of the camp. He wasn't wearing medals, just a dusty uniform. But when he spoke, people listened. Protect the people, even if it means you die doing it. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought, this man is different. But the mission was still on. I was now part of a 7-man cell, with contacts inside the army, police, and civil service. We had one goal: take him out during a blackout coup. No chaos, no war. Just silence. The plan. They called it Operation Dune Noir, the code word for launch, Midnight Storm. On the night of execution, we were to cut power to the capital for 15 minutes, neutralize the Presidential Guard's main gate, strike when Traore left for evening inspection, escape by helicopter from a private airfield. The date was set. May 15th, 3 a.m. But 2 nights before the mission, something strange happened. I was at a small cafe when an old man sat next to me. He was blind in one eye and wore sandals with no socks. He said quietly, "Be careful, son." "Lions are not fooled by shadows." I said, "Excuse me?" He smiled. "Captain Traore already knows." My heart froze. I stood up, looked around. No one else reacted. That night, I tried calling the handler. No response. I sent a coded message to Paris. No reply. Something felt wrong. The next day I saw Traore again. He looked at me, straight in the eyes, no smile, just silence. I knew then. He knew everything. But why hadn't he arrested me? Why hadn't he shot me on sight? Instead, he nodded, just once, and walked away. May 15th, 2:55 a.m. Darkness fell over Ouagadougou like a blanket. The city lights cut off. Phones stopped working. Generators in government buildings died, just like the plan. I was wearing a black jacket, gloves, and earpiece. Everything was going perfectly. "Midnight storm activated," I whispered into the mic. 2 of our men were already inside the compound, dressed as junior soldiers. I waited with another agent behind a utility truck near Gate 2. The guard at that post was supposed to be one of ours. Bribed, loyal. But when the time came to open the gate, he didn't move. Instead, he looked straight at me and whispered into his radio, "Target is here! Repeat, target is here!" That's when I knew. We were the ones being hunted. Suddenly, boom! A stun grenade landed near the truck. Flashes, smoke, screams, gunshots cracked from rooftops. My teammate fell instantly. I saw blood spill onto the ground. I dropped behind the truck, heart racing, trying to breathe. I tried calling command. The line was dead. The entire base was silent, but not empty. Snipers, drones, hidden soldiers. Traore had